This one's a bit of a tricky one because Johnny Depp has officially been released from the Fantastic Beasts film franchise. And it's tricky because there's a lot of legality involved. Or not legality of whether or not he can be in the movie, but, it's because of his legal case of, the accusations of abuse. As far as I can tell, between Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, there is quite blatant abuse on both sides. We're not here to get into the nitty gritty of the court cases or what's going on in that realm. Fantastic Beasts as a franchise, I feel like, is in kind of a really weird and stressful place in general because there's been a lot of controversy surrounding J.K. Rowling as well. And I believe she was helping write on those movies as well. So I feel like they're just in a lot of hot water. Once again, I'm not really interested in the legal or political aspects of these topics. But what I think is interesting is the fact that the studio has already released Johnny Depp following the result of the defamation court case, it didn't have anything to do with Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, or it wasn't between them. It was between Johnny Depp and the newspaper that, if I recall, supposedly called him a wife beater in the newspaper. And a lot of people are disappointed by this result. Now, I have no interest in being fully briefed on doing a ton of research into the cases because that's for the law to decide. As far as I'm concerned, Johnny Depp has some problems, but as far as I'm concerned, Amber Heard has some big problems just as well. These people. Whew. So my take on it from between the two of them is that if you're going to take Johnny Depp out of the movies, I don't want to see Amber Heard getting any movies either. I think that's fair to say. It's that there is, I think, very blatant proof on both sides from as far as I've gathered from public opinion to what research I have done into what's been presented in these court cases that are ongoing is that both of these people, either you need to let it go until the court case is finished, like all of the cases, not just the defamation lawsuit against the newspaper. You need to let it go until they're all finished, or both of these people need to be out. I think it needs to be equal treatment across the board, I think is really the thing. But that's for the courts to sort out, who's in the right, who's in the wrong. As far as I can tell, I think it's pretty safe to say. I think it's a not controversial thing to say that they were both in the wrong, obviously, across the board. But I think it's interesting to see the studio dropping Depp from the film so quickly, which I guess isn't super quick based on, these allegations and these cases have been ongoing for a while now, a few years, right? It's got to be at least a year or two.
I think a couple of years.
Yeah, a couple of years. But for them to wait so long and then also to drop right after just the defamation case with the newspaper, not after the result of the case between Amber Heard and Johnny Depp.
I'm wondering if they're just kind of wanting to get rid of some baggage too. And if that's...
that's what I feel like they're just in a weird place. Too much hot water. I'm not sure
Johnny Depp's a huge box office draw anymore either. Yeah. So I don't think that they're losing too much on their end. I think they're trying to just cut some political baggage.
Yeah, I just think
if they truly cared about the case, they would have cut him because of the Amber Heard Johnny Depp
just
case.
The original allegation,
not just the defamation case.
Yeah, well, that's what's so strange to me is that they held on case. And then now they're just like, all right, it's been too far. But they're in, like we said, I think the hot water around Rowling in general right now. And I think it's a sketchy place to be just producing content based around her work right now in general because of how angry people are with her, and rightfully so in some instances. But I don't think they're losing a lot by losing Johnny Depp. But I think what I want to see is just I don't want to see Amber Heard getting movie roles if Johnny Depp's going to be losing his movie roles before the court cases are even out. But I mean, that being said, I'm also not totally opposed to just completely letting J.K. Rowling properties go. I mean, people like Harry Potter. They grew up with Harry Potter. It was you can't deny that Harry Potter was a cultural phenomenon. That being said, years later, regardless of anything that's come out about Rowling's personal life or personal beliefs, I don't think the franchise ages that well to begin with. I don't think it's something that sticks for years and years and years and years and years and years to come. I think it sticks as a cultural, I think it marks a place in time culturally when people were reading those books and growing up with those books. But I don't know. The story of Harry Potter is just not that good. Rowling did some good things in the writing, but the Harry Potter, obviously she had some good ideas and she handled some things well in the books, but it's not that good. I remember, I watched all the movies and I was like, this is what people are so excited about. I was like, I need to read these books, because they must be way better than the books. And I've done extensive research among friends who have read the books. And no, it's like that. So,
I'm not really familiar with any of it. I think I read the first book and I thought it was good. And I never read any of the rest of them. Never saw any of the movies. And
she's a good writer now, and she does some really good things with some characters. And there's so much. The problem with her is always there's just so much baggage after the books came out. All of her retconning, people are constantly annoyed with how she retcons characters in different ways and different things later on. The movies, the reception of the movies, and now Fantastic Beasts. I think it really would have been best if she just left it alone after that franchise went on. She could keep writing some movies, but writing books. I didn't
think she wrote the first Fantastic Beasts movie. I thought she just wrote the second one, and people went crazy over it.
I don't know if she wrote the second one. I think she's just a part of it.
No, I'm pretty sure she straight up wrote the script for the second one. I want to say that's what happened, because I know that people blamed. I think people blamed her entirely for the second, and I never saw either of them, so I don't know.
I just feel like the property. I know everyone's gonna want to milk the property, but I feel like the Harry Potter property probably should have just been give it its legacy. And be like, that was it. And she probably should have just stopped talking about it. All the retcons, all the extra stuff added, new universe type stuff. It was I know a lot of people were unsatisfied with some of the ways that it ended. But, not to get into the nitty gritty of Harry Potter. I'm not a fan of it to begin with. So I'm not the person to be talking to about it. But it seems like just a rough time for not her, but any property that she's involved in. So, and I guess that's why they're dropping Johnny Depp. But I don't know. I hope that I think out of anything, when it comes to the Depp and Heard case, not even the case, them in general, I just really hope that they get some help. Yeah. Outside of the case, Johnny Depp it's so sad. Just his story, what's it have to be like? And I say sad, because he's done some, obviously, I don't even know the full extent of the cases. So not to say it's sad in that, if he's done some awful things, not to, not in any way to defend any of the awful things that he does, but to just look at his life, the stardom that he reached so early in his life, to be the cultural icon that he was, to make as much money as he did, and then to fall victim to the addiction and lifestyle that he did, to lead him down this path to having such problems. And clearly Amber Heard had the same things. So it's really just so sad to watch the way that life can go, especially I think age has so much to do with it. The age at which he was really coming into that fame and fortune and where it can go. It's so sad to see a legacy that, was a DiCaprio level, if not more, level of just acting prowess. He was the man, the actor for a while. And I mean, obviously he's talented enough to do it, but the way he just started to get typecast, the way I think he started taking films probably for money. I think he probably stopped being as invigorated by the roles, and then obviously for his personal life to fall into turmoil and addiction the way that it is, it's such a tragic story of an icon, someone that a lot of people probably looked up to and adored, and to see where it goes now, and to have him being thrown under the bus the way that he is as well by both the culture and within the court cases and stuff. Obviously he's not going to be without fault in any way, shape, or form. And I think it'd probably be best to say that they both equally hurt each other. And I don't mean physically or, that's all for the court to decide. But like the things that they both were doing to each other, it just sounds like it was the most toxic relationship. Yeah. And so to slip into that and then have everything go the way that it's just really sad to see anybody, not just Johnny Depp, but to see anybody have to go through that as well as become that.
Right.
But that's a really sad note to end the podcast on.
Yeah.
That's so bad. But